Gabriella, how are you doing? I know Wales went out, but still, you've still got a massive smile on your face. How are you? And how's Switzerland?
Switzerland's been absolutely amazing. And yeah, I do have a smile on my face still because it has been honestly the best experience seeing Wales at their first ever major tournament, regardless of the result last night. Obviously, disappointing conceding 6 goals. And, particularly, I guess, as a Welsh fan, having it against England as well. But overall, the experience has been phenomenal. And I think these players will really learn from this experience. It's really hard to compare, I think, Wales to the other teams in that group because it was a real tough group, wasn't it? France, Netherlands, and England all in one was probably the hardest one we could ever have even gotten at the first tournament as well. But overall, is a sense of pride, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was. I hate that whole cliche, like the group of death, but the fact that no one had clinched any type of spot before the games had kicked off. But can you just speak a little bit about how proud you are of the country, how proud you are of the team? Because obviously in the national anthems, we've seen when goals are scored, when Jess Fishlock scored in the previous game, Sophie Ingles come on, like you can just feel the pride. But can you just speak true to that for us, please?
100%, knowing the journey that this team and these players have been on over the years, it's been a real battle actually to even get, an opportunity to play matches because, that if you go back to maybe 20 years ago, they were actually pulled from the 2005 Euro qualifiers because basically funding reasons. But the FAW, it was cheaper for them to pay a fine for not having the team there than actually paying towards accommodation and having the team at qualifiers, which is crazy to think. And 20 years later, we have finally qualified for our first major tournament, and we are all so proud. And being amongst the red wall, all the Welsh fans this past almost 2 weeks, I've been out here chatting to them. Everyone has said the same thing: how proud we are, how inspiring these women have been throughout, the campaigns and all the ups and downs and near misses, almost qualifying for a World Cup just a few years ago and missing out, to actually be here and soaking up the atmosphere. And Switzerland have been amazing as well. Like the country has been a really amazing host country. And yeah, just so proud of, the effort they have put in as well, because yes, they were in all games, not the results that we wanted, but there were glimpses there of what we could potentially do. And unfortunately, there were, mistakes that led to other goals and so on. But, we created history in many ways, more than just being here as well, with Jess Fishlock scoring the first goal and being the oldest ever at the Euros as well to do so. So this, I think it's more than just the football on the pitch we have to take from this.
Yeah, I think we have to talk about, unfortunately, being a former Lioness myself, we have to talk about that game. Now, England put four past the Netherlands. So it wasn't a massive. Football doesn't always work like that, though, does it? Where it's like one team wins 4 and that means you're going to beat Wales by that scoreline. But was it a bit surprising that it was such a heavy scoreline? Or do you think, like, for me, it looked like the players just ran out of steam, the emotion just ran out of gas? But playing in those games myself previously, I know how much Wales can't stand us when we play against them. Were you surprised at the scoreline to a certain degree, or was you not?
I wouldn't say I was surprised. And we knew it was going to be such a tough game. I think maybe when we hear the result of England's first game against France, we thought, oh, maybe there's a chance of something happening. There's always that glimpse of belief, but also knowing that you have to be realistic. I think Wales, as a footballing nation, are miles behind where England are currently. So you have to take that into consideration as well. And I think there was a lot of pressure on England more so than Wales coming into that game. England needed to put in a good performance, and they did. You have to give it to the players. Watching Lauren James, she was phenomenal. And there were so many good moments from Wales as well. But there was, like I was saying, there's so many mistakes, I think, that eventually led to those goals. And at the end of the day, as you're saying, it was a really, really tough group. But I don't think we expected Wales to win in that game. And speaking to the fans beforehand, everyone was saying, we want another goal. And we'd be chuffed with that. And you could hear from the fans how happy we were when that goal went in from Hannah Kane, and what a goal it was as well.
Yeah.
Fishlock assist, it was phenomenal, and I was actually sat within the red wall as well. So to experience that, and some people might say, why are you celebrating so much when you're already so many goals down, and obviously did make a difference to the result.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that Hannah Kane goal, actually, like another special moment. And for some countries and for some people, they wouldn't understand like that feeling of being like qualifying for your first major tournament. There wasn't really high expectations. And then just can you talk about that feeling, what it was like when Hannah Kane scored? I know it was a consolation. It was different to the Jess Fishlock one because that was to go ahead against France. But speak about what that felt like when that goal went in.
Oh, it was amazing. And, the fans didn't stop singing anyway, regardless. Every pass, every tackle, we were all, chanting. So when that goal went in, and I was that, obviously that end, it was the red wall end that the goal went into. It was just ecstatic. And, as you were saying, it didn't make a difference in the end. But the fact, even for Hannah Kane, it was special because she's overcome so much herself, overcome 2 ACL injuries in her, she's still very young, and to overcome that, to make it into the Wales team and to score at a major tournament for her was phenomenal. I know her family, was there watching as well. And some of the players' families were around us, and, just to see the pride on everyone's faces. And, I lost it, to be honest with you, when that goal went in. It's just an amazing feeling. And just to get that goal against England, a great side that was on the pitch yesterday, was brilliant. And also, I would say, got to give it to Jess Fishlock. That run she made was incredible, and she's still going. And it was a bit of emotional one, I think, because not knowing what is going to happen with some of those players as well, that were on the pitch last night.
So, Gabriella, what do you think are the main takeaways from Wales for this tournament? Obviously, a lot of questions. People may question Rian Wilkinson, which is absolutely crazy. They haven't actually won a game since they won at the Aviva against the Republic of Ireland. It's kind of crazy to think about. But, like, what did you take away from this tournament?
I think there are so much things to take away from it, because obviously it was a first. It was a first for the FAW in terms of the women's side to experience something like this. So I think, there was also wasn't the same team played in any of the group stages. Rian Wilkinson did change the team throughout, and I think it was just a way of kind of maybe working out what works best for us, because it's still early days. Rian Wilkinson's only been in the role for, was it just over a year and a half or so. So, and I think she's amazing. Honestly, I think was the perfect candidate for that role, considering her background, and connection with Wales as well. I think Rian Wilkinson's amazing, and I'm excited really to see how it progresses from here. Yes, we didn't get those results, but to have that experience playing the best teams in the world at a major tournament, I think we've kind of realised how much of a jump that is as well. And I think it will inspire so many young girls and young boys as well in Wales, to show them, where they could potentially be now as a woman in sport, as a female playing football. I think that's probably the major takeaways. There is definitely a lot to learn obviously from what happens on the pitch, but I think in this context, with where Wales are in their journey, it's about kind of all the off pitch ones as well. We saw with the Lionesses winning the Euros last time out how much of an impact that had around the UK, but this will have, hopefully, that's kind of similar effect within Wales, and through the grassroots as well. And it's just exciting to see how things will progress from here.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that impact. And I agree with you. After the Lionesses won, it was like crazy domino effect, more attendances in the WSL, more people getting involved. Men are walking down the street with Beth Mead and Russo jerseys on. It was fantastic. Like, what type of impact do you think this will have in Wales? Like, are we talking in schools? Like, just speak a little bit about that for me.
No, I definitely think throughout schools, and there's a lot of campaigning going on now, and even seeing families out here supporting Wales has been fantastic. And with really young children, these girls who've just maybe started their journey playing football, and be able to see Wales on a world stage is just incredible. And there's no doubt, they have these idols now with Jess Fishlock and Sophie Ingle, and even younger players. Fia Morgan is sort of like a new generation of player as well, with the stuff she does, on social media and all that. That's kind of where her fan base comes from, is seeing how she shows what it's like to be a female footballer and a footballer for Wales. And I think it's just going to have a fantastic impact. And no doubt the FAW, they've been phenomenal as well, I have to say, throughout this campaign and the tournament. Both, with everything they do off the field, they've really supported the team incredibly, and the team have been fantastic. So credit goes to them as well, and no doubt they'll capitalize on that going forward. And it's just, yeah, it is exciting just to see. Obviously, I have to say, like, I've seen comments online saying, how can you all be so positive and, and so proud, saying you're proud of it because of the results. And of course, it's disappointing to lose a game, but I think in this context, you have to think of the bigger picture and how many people that will inspire.
Yeah, and have to be realistic as well. Well, Gabrielle, unfortunately, you are coming home, but thank you so much for coming on the show, and I've really enjoyed watching the Wales fans singing the national anthem. It's been great. So safe travels back, and thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.